heifer right there just don't even care.
Brace yourself down.
What do you say, folks? Everybody's had a pretty good week. It it wasn't a real good one for myself. Was ailing this week.
He was pitiful, y'all. He was really, really sick earlier this week.
Yeah, come down with some kind of, I don't know, virus, stomach bug, flu, whatever. But anyway, it made me sick. But thankfully, getting over that the last day or two, far feeling better.
Back to himself a little bit.
Yeah, ate a little supper last night. Well, night before last, I was finally able to get some down pretty good. And last couple of nights, finally, thankfully, getting my appetite back. But other than that,
You're in Jasper.
and so things been pretty well.
We got to play in the bees today.
We
It's the
did.
first time.
Yeah, I'm assuming we got a video uploading. I think it's
It is slowly uploading.
Yeah, that thing's been trying to go since, I don't know, 2:30 this evening. But yeah, we did. We was able to get out there in them finally. It's been about 3 weeks since we've done anything.
Really got to get in them.
The closest we done was put that nuke in that horizontal box. Let them get in there and get comfy. But don't want to give all the details away on it, but we are going to get into some, some results we've seen. And keep in mind, 3 weeks, we ain't been in anybody. So when we get into this topic and subject, kind of keeping something in mind, especially if y'all been with us and y'all know the fits we have with critters around here. Jasper.
I'm like, get where you gonna get so we can be still.
Yes. Jasper can't make his mind up this evening. Mr. Larry, I'm glad to see you in here. Bubba, I ain't forgot about you by no means. Like I said, I didn't want to talk to anybody last week, to be honest with you. And it ain't nothing against nobody. Even Hannah can tell you how I am when I get sick. I don't like to be old with.
That's an understatement.
But she toughed it out. She took care of me. Made sure I was well taken care of. And boy, am I grateful for that. But where are we at? In the bees. We got it. I think she was more happy than I thought she was going to be. I told her today, I said, look, well, actually yesterday I told her, I said, if I feel as good as I do today, I said, let's take a little time because we're going to go to church today just in case.
He still had cooties.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
That's what we were afraid of.
Take no chance of getting anybody else sick, anything like that. So we did stay home, but I did tell her yesterday. So look, hey, I'm feeling good or better. You want to dive into them bees out there, especially since we got that cold front coming in. Well, everybody's fixing to get it. But
weird cold front for down here.
Yeah, probably it's gonna get pretty close to.
They're calling for like 34, 33 or 34. Yeah, it was 80, upper 80s here today too, Ed.
Yes.
It will be tomorrow. And then it's going to go down to 50 tomorrow night. And then it's only going to be like 55 for the high Tuesday.
Yeah, we're running the AC tonight.
It'll be the heater. tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, probably.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's going to be a 30-degree temperature drop from daytime to nighttime, and then just get colder, not warm up for a few days, which is weird this early. Normally, like this coming weekend, it's the last weekend of the fair, and usually you're still sweating in t-shirts for the fair down here. Michael Taylor said they got snow today.
Yeah, I know a bunch of folks.
Mhm.
Mr. Larry talking about they need rain bad too. Hopefully, this will kind of get everybody. According to old Ryan Hall, y'all, everybody's supposed to get some rain and uh, supposed to, I guess, what they call train over different areas. There's going to be certain parts of the states that are just going to get shower after shower, and uh, Lord willing, that'll help some of y'all in your deficits. But yes, sir, we can all use some good rain.
Absolutely.
Don't want the snow. Y'all can have that snow up there.
I wouldn't mind some snow. I like it about once a year. It's fun. He hates it though. Absolutely hates the snow.
It's pretty for a little bit, and I'm done with it.
He don't like it.
It's just the cold part about it. But it is pretty. Don't get me wrong. Whenever we don't ever. It ain't often we get a snow down here. Anything to a count. We'll get a flurry from time to time, but an actual something that sticks on the ground and we can say, "Oh, hey, look, there's snow outside." It's rare.
been a while since it good enough to stick down here.
It done.
Shoot.
I guess about 12, 14 years ago, when we were still on the fire department, we had that little bit of snow down here. But before that, the only time I remember was around 92, 1992.
We had that ice storm about 8 years ago, remember? Like 3 days of ice.
And we couldn't drive. Nobody down here could drive. We have no idea how to drive on an icy road.
Our whole town shuts down. Okay, I mean, schools closed, everything shuts down if it snows down here.
I mean, we don't know how to react in that mess. Now, you give
All
us
we
a
can
dirt
do
road.
is make a snowman.
Other than that, what else we gonna do?
We played in the bees.
Yes. We'll kind of touch on that, I guess. Then we'll get into
Sorry, it made
subject
no
matter.
sense. We haven't been able to get in them forever.
Yeah, she was happy. Like I said, she was happier. And
It cracked me up big time.
We did have one. We're gonna have to do some work too.
Yeah.
The little old nuke we bought. She's performing. And one of our last big colonies that we had left before all the beetle slime outs. Ooh, buddy. Y'all check out the video, but this little gal, she's doing well. Real well.
We was proud of her.
But we've been yakking about the peppermint extract and mixing the eucalyptus in and trying that as a beetle run or to keep them doggone beetles out. And y'all,
I've been amazed at the results.
that seems to be the ticket. I think it was, oh mercy, tell you what, Rodney Middleton, I think we was in one of the
Bob live earlier. He went live with his honey table out there.
That's right. Earlier this morning. Yep. And he was asking about the bees and the beetles, and we hadn't got into them yet, so we had no idea. But between all three colonies, we've probably seen 30 beetles.
No, not even that many.
Probably not. No.
He's exaggerating.
blowing the numbers up.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't many beetles at all.
No.
I mean,
Like for us, it was nothing. Absolutely nothing. I was ecstatic seeing almost zero beetles in there. I couldn't believe it.
well, we put it like this: the Valentine colony that we called it. They had been poisoned about a week and a half ago, and we knew there was a bunch of bees dying off because of all that. And we was expecting whenever we opened it up, that was going to be the one that had a whole bunch of hive beetles in it. But I don't even think we've seen two in that box, and it's a double deep. What's on there, and the numbers of bees are nothing to brag about at all. What's left in there,
Mhm.
and any other time it would have just been overtaken, no problem. But apparently, this the eucalyptus and the peppermint extract is
It's working for us.
working very well,
Really good.
very very well, and we're gonna kind of get on that a little bit in our little trip back in memory lane or down memory lane with the American Bee Journal stuff.
Mm.
It's surprising they had an article about peppermint, and I think it's 1870 issue, but we'll get into that a little bit more. Uh, who are we got in here right now?
Well, Mr. Mark and Bob just came in. Ed and DC and
Keith, Bill, there,
Tar Heel just came in.
Russell Heyman, James, Tracy.
DC's next video just went up.
Yep, just got your notification, DC. Hey, appreciate y'all coming in. Like I said, y'all, I don't know how long of a chat this is going to be tonight. I'm going to try. We're going to push as hard as we can. But,
He's still putting work done.
yeah, I'm still just trying to
Well, thanks, Sharon.
put some hits in my giddy up, as they say.
Well, it's Mr. Don, so my giddy up and got
Got
him
them go. Yes.
Hey, Lisa.
Uh,
Some old folks trailing
trying to think what else. If I hadn't have been ailing this past week, we'd have probably went and got us another nuke or two. But we're gonna get caught up this week, Lord willing,
in.
on work and all that, and hopefully about the end of the week, this cold air will be pretty well pushed out. And we'll probably go pick us up a couple more to stick out there, and
At least one more.
yeah, we're gonna. I really like to try to keep pushing with these nukes. I know it's a gamble in a way, but probably to about, let's say, pretty close to the middle of November, and may start backing out until spring. I don't want to go dropping a whole bunch of money in, and just have a bunch of nukes crash over winter. Then you're back in the same boat you was before.
Yeah. But I mean, the next one we're gonna go get, we're gonna combine with what's left of that one colony that was poisoned. So we know they'll be okay for sure. And we should have time to get one more going.
And the goldenrod flow was not a flow.
Disappointing. Very disappointing.
Even on that biggest colony we were yakking about a second ago, whenever we opened them up, there was a few, like I say, you can see it on the video, a couple places where they've drawn out real nice and pretty. There was some real bright yellow comb they had been drawing out. But yeah, it was pitiful as far as them actually bringing in anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were shocked at how empty the box is. No, it probably had a lot to do with the drought. We didn't get near as much rain this year, Mike, as normal. I mean, we were a couple of feet below average
Yeah,
on rain this year.
yeah, we're still about 26 inches below average as far as our rainfall right now.
I mean, normally it rains almost every day down here in the summertime. But this year, like it was bad.
Well, most I think a lot of y'all, Louisiana, Texas, especially y'all out that way, y'all sure enough got in a drought.
Yeah.
We get a little old shower, I don't know, just enough to settle the dust for a minute, then it wouldn't do nothing for.
No,
I don't think it rained really any in August.
no, it was bad. Everything died.
But we was thinking, man, that goldenrod, it's everywhere and then some, all up and
I
down the
mean, there
road. But
was tons of it bloom this year, but I guess they didn't get much of nothing from it at all.
now I did see, and I got this in my little B news. Mr. Mike Berry, he was able to get him what he called some excess from one of his little out yards he's got, but it just, I don't know, which we don't really ever, I guess, kind of get excited or try to look forward to any type of goldenrod because it's either one or two things like it is now. We didn't get enough rain, or the daggum hurricanes come in and they dump, 3 feet of rain on us, and that just nullifies everything that was getting the process. So I can't say in our little small 5 years of beekeeping that we've ever had any kind of flow on the goldenrod where we could say, hey, we could go out there and do a little bit of harvest on it. But
Mr. Larry said half of their goldenrod plants died from the drought.
It got a lot of folks. So, Mr. Larry, y'all over in Mississippi, I think. And the Texicans and Arkansas, Louisiana, parts over there that way. They didn't have much rain at all. Then we was talking with Hawk
Where are you from?
watching all them Canadian shows.
Yeah, he said Central Mississippi.
Talking to Todd. This is, I think it was back in August or so, and telling him, was like, man, it ain't rained out here in 2 weeks or something. And he's telling me, he's like, Tim, it ain't rained out here since April.
Yeah.
Several
What
months.
are you crying about?
Well, let me shut up about that. Blaine, the Texican beekeeper. I'm glad to see you, buddy. When you get a chance, shoot me an email or a text with your address. We finally do. We have
I'm very sure.
stand by on that. I'll text you then and see if we got it. But we finally found the dirt rooster hat and all that stuff where we hid it from ourselves.
Safe spot.
Yeah, it was exactly where
He had no idea where the thing was.
it was in the most obvious of places in the beekeeping stuff. I had just buried it with a few things and didn't realize I had buried it with a few things. So we're gonna get that to you, brother. She's on her way. Finally. After however long
It's been a while. You've
September.
been supposed to found that, and here we are, almost November. But hey,
we didn't forget about you.
no,
I just had to remember where I put that rifle.
yeah.
Uh, No, it didn't need to happen. Like,
Yeah, Mr. Dan Weaver, when he won the honey contest, he told us to send the hat he wanted to use,
mm-hmm.
and we're going to.
Yep.
Just to say, we'll probably take it tomorrow. We'll be going past the post office somewhere tomorrow.
Yeah. But I'll,
It's boxed up, ready to go. He just didn't realize we had the address we're supposed to ship it
no, I was thinking, I don't even know
to.
what.
He sent us like 3 different boxes of stuff.
But I
2
can't remember if
boxes
we
of
had
stuff.
kept his address.
I'm pretty sure we did.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know, buddy. We're gonna finish this.
yes.
He is going to finish this with this hat if it kills both of us.
Well, we go through these little, I guess, days of like, we need to look around and see if we can find that thing, get it sent on out,
Mm-hmm.
then come home, search and look, so on and so forth. And whenever I went to digging out smoker and all that stuff to get in the bees today, I pulled that smoker off top. And I was like, that looks like that dirt rooster box right there. Sure enough, open her up and everything's laid. I was like, all right. So now I have it in a visual area.
Where he can still just walk straight on past that thing and never think twice about it. We'll get it though.
Mr. Dan said, I'm a straw hat man.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Made me think. When I was a kid and I'd be up at my grandparents' all the time. After my grandpa retired, he got bored. So he went back to work at the landfill up there, or when they have one up there. But every single evening when he come in, he wore that old straw, like cowboy looking hat. But I can still see him coming in that back door, and the old hat tree still hanging in the corner right there by the door.
Ed, I've only done that one time, my friend. And that's because I laid $100 bill on my nightstand.
I
And
forgot all about
she
that.
said, look, this is church tithing. Put
Please
it in your
put it up.
billfold. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get a shower real quick. I'll put it in my wallet and
Oh my god.
put it in a plate. Well, I'm getting ready. I can't find the money. I asked her, I said, you pick that money up? She said, no. I said, well, that $100 sure ain't laying there.
Well, it was.
And I moved things and looked under the bed and done everything else. Well, the only thing that we can conclude was,
Stella ate it.
yep, Jasper's friend ate the $100 bill.
Do y'all know what it feels like at 30 some odd years old to go to church and have to tell your pastor my dog ate my tithing money before
That's
I
a true story.
came?
We ain't making that one up.
Yeah.
So, no, I went for about one day and I was like, well, if it's going to show, it's going to show. But it never showed.
Let's move on. This conversation. Oh my gosh.
Now, let me tell y'all this one too, real quick. This one ain't like that one. When Jasper, a couple weeks after he done made his home here, I had thought he had eaten a key or one of the truck keys.
Gosh.
And
Tim lost the truck keys and he's trying to blame Jasper.
well, he was the only one I seen around him last. So I just went with, oh crap, Jasper has ate the keys. So I got to think, how in the world am I going to find out if that dog ate them keys or not? But went in there and I had the bright idea of our metal detecting stuff, and there's a pinpointer that picks up metal. I come out with that pinpointer and I'm jigging it all in Jasper's stomach and everything. And
Ollie did not know what Uncle Tim was tripping on.
I think the dog ate the keys, bud. I'm going to sit there in his stomach. But I ended up setting the keys in the back seat of the truck.
Blaine said he'll send you some more hundreds if it'll help.
All right, now, yes, sir.
Well, Bob, I hope you did good on your little sale out there today. Getting it loaded up to head sail.
Yes, that's it. This weekend, huh?
I was gonna say, I thought you weren't coming till like Saturday and Sunday or something.
What, third, fourth, third and fourth, something like that.
That's not bad, Bob. That's better. That's worth your time sitting out there, I guess.
Yeah, they coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
Third and fourth. Okay.
So that's what, Friday and Saturday, I think.
I believe so. I have to look at the calendar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. Then we can still go to the rodeo on Sunday.
Yeah, we're gonna try to still come meet with you one of them evenings down there.
Oh no.
It's just a plain much. Yeah.
Yeah. Ed said his mother-in-law's dog ate his earbuds.
Them dogs.
Oh, I bet that was a hit, Blaine. He did a market with an observation hive. I thought that would draw people in for real.
Oh yeah, folks
Who
ain't
was
never
it?
seen them.
Brian, wasn't it Flower Street? Didn't he say they had like a little one frame
Oh yeah.
observation hive or something?
Mm.
Lisa.
Well,
She
it's a
missed
good
the first half
conversation.
of that comment. She thought it was saying his mother-in-law ate his ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Well,
Well,
you want to get into? I'll do the news first. And you do the prayer list. So while I'm doing the news, if there's anybody that got a prayer request or anything like that, let us know. We can add to, take away, continue to, or whatever it may be. I had some other stuff, and in typical Buttons fashion, I don't write nothing down until the last minute. That's my own fault. Unpreparedness, procrastination.
yeah, it's been a long week.
So
It's been a rough week for him.
she gonna let me slide on this one, y'all.
I'll get him next week.
I'm gonna note that.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I'm so burned out on the top 20 best this and the top most terrifying that and the craziest critters. I burned myself out on some YouTube, y'all. But I didn't do it on the beekeeping because I don't want to get burned out on just, it's hard for anybody to do anyway. If you're watching YouTube, which I watch a lot of YouTube, but most of my YouTubing is somebody shooting something, blowing it up, or check this out, this is pretty cool. I do enjoy the beekeeping, but the reason I don't bombard myself with it because it won't take me long before.
He's on to another topic.
Yeah, and I'll get burned out, and I don't want to get burned out in any kind of ways of
He
doing this.
paces himself on videos he really enjoys.
Yeah. So, in the beginning of our beekeeping news, and I'm gonna have to add to this a little bit, but old Ian up there, Stepler, that's a working man. I ain't realized how much, I've heard them talk about they got their farms and all this stuff up there, but I watched one of the second to last video, I think it was, he put out, where he's running up and down with the tractor, then he's doing bees, and, they're harvesting sunflowers and all this kind of good stuff. Them dudes up there are getting it from day to night. Uh, but that's a hard job in itself, farming just alone. Then you turn around and he's got the beekeeping end of it. That I guess is just him and his wife and family. They kind of do more of the beekeeping end, from what I gather. But uh, that man's running tractors in ankle deep snow now up that way.
I thought that's what that said. Ian is in ankle deep snow.
Yeah.
Was his headline on his thing. That's what I was trying to read.
Well, I was adding to with the tractor parts and all that, or them running that farm up there. They got some equipment too. I'm assuming that's their equipment. Somebody's got some nice equipment. But then our other Canadian friend Brad up there at Faith was watching his weekly blog, and looks like he may be having some issues with mic treatments, how they didn't turn out performing as well as he was hoping they would.
Felt so bad for him.
So, buddy, like I said in the comment, we are genuinely praying for you that you don't lose out on your bees, and but the way he was talking, he seemed a bit concerned on that end. And Justin Ruger, I got an email from him the other day. They finally, between Justin Ruger and Shippensburg University, they've concluded the paper on accessible beekeeping.
Published it.
Yes, it's all been published and out there. There's a PDF on it. I think it's about 17 pages. Anybody that's interested in checking it out, but you can go to accessiblebeekeeping.com, I think it is, and view the PDF if anybody's interested in checking out, Justin's work.
To read the whole thing.
But
we were really, really happy for him to hear that.
Yeah, I was figuring that was probably going to be a little more after the first of the year on those results and findings, but they got down to the nuts and bolts of things, and I really pray that Justin is able to take this and carry on and help folks with, the disability and being able to beekeep and all.
He's trying to do a good thing here.
Justin, he's got him a good program going on. And I was just saying, Lord willing, that'll take off and help many, many folks be able to enjoy beekeeping. Okay, John. Old Brad over there in Louisiana. He thought he was having some robin issues. Come to find out, thank goodness it wasn't. There was some orientation going on. So he had him a little bit of sigh of relief on that end. He wasn't worrying about a bunch of robin issues like he thought.
That's definitely a relief.
And I had mentioned this a second ago about Mr. Mike Berry. He wasn't calling it extracting. He was saying excess honey. A little bit extra that he had left over as far as what he could leave on his colonies. From what I'm gathering, their flow wasn't really a whole bunch better, but better than anything that we had over here for sure this year. You get a little bit of surplus on something.
Probably good.
It's good camp. And during my days of ailing, I did run across a new gentleman named Richard Scott. He's only got a few videos, just a couple hundred, well, it might be a couple hundred or so subs. But for any of y'all that enjoy watching people do cutouts, this guy is
He had some insane cutouts.
yes. He's I'm not sure exactly where at in Alabama. The way he was talking, it's mid-state area, but y'all, the one that drew my attention was three colonies. I forget exactly how he titled the video, but it was three separate colonies. I've never seen this on cutouts, but it was an old time house that they were tearing down, and some bees had gotten in the thing. And sure enough, there was three different colonies in this one wall. Now, granted, they was a few feet apart, but two of
But
them
I
was
mean,
side
two
by
of
side.
them, yeah, it was only a 2 by 4 stud separating them. But he found a queen in all three.
Sure did.
But
And these
I was
wasn't no, where y'all at? These wasn't no little bitty
No.
cutouts. These were
like, they were taller than me.
6 foot, probably one of them maybe pushing 8 foot long. And you figure a cavity of, you say roughly 22.5 inches between the stud walls right there.
It was incredible.
But
Like,
huge hive.
yeah.
But rummaging through some of his stuff, he did have some other really nice cutouts. Another one was at a school where he got, I think, I don't know, it was about 200 pounds of honey off this one colony, and it was just as big too. So for the ones of you that enjoy watching people do the cutouts, that fella may be somebody you may want to go look at and watch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that wraps up my beekeeping news on that.
I think Philip left in the comment. He is on this mic.
Yeah. Lag nappy.
I don't think that's say that. Mm,
Yes.
yeah.
Carry on
Okay.
before I get in trouble.
Yeah. All right. So I hadn't seen him in here yet, but Keith Larimore and Mr. Mark Miller for sure. Hillbilly Earl, Ed's wife, Miss Chris. But he was just saying in here that I think tomorrow she starts, but she found a better job. Where did I see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Blaine said he starts a new job tomorrow, but she got a better job. So that's always good news. Let's see. Then James McNally's still on here. Dirt Rooster's dad, Mr. Pratt. Miss Deb, the Sun Bunny's on here. And let's see, Bob's friend Jason Cooper. Mr. Dan Weaver's family in Maui. Miss Grammy Lisa. She's got her granddaughter and her son Robert on here. Bob Walker and his family, but especially his wife and mom. And then Tom with Mac Apiaries, Mr. Donnie, Tim Bailey. Oh, she does start tomorrow. Okay, cool. Tim Bailey, the Boone County beekeeper. Mr. Mark Miller's mentor, Ray Bruce's family, is on here. Michael Tangway's wife, Cindy. Christoph. Miss Carla Green, a lady DC put on here for battling cancer. All of our troops. And then Michael Tangway added this family. Maybe he can give us an update. But the Terry and Emma Mason family. And then Brian Castlehives, his whole family. He lost a brother a couple of weeks ago. DC's parents have a lot going on. His mom had that awesome news. Her cancer was gone last week, but they're still having some other troubles. He said they really needed prayer. And then James Noel's sister, Miss Kay Wilmot, he put their family on here, but he said last week he told us she had been in a coma for 3 weeks. So y'all really be in prayer for their family. That's never easy to deal with. Well, I mean, none of what anybody's on there for is easy to deal with at all. But that's our prayer list.
Yeah. Like I say, for anybody, y'all, shoot us a message. If there's anybody we need to add to, take away from,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be happy to do that. But
Absolutely.
tell you what, let me turn this air down real quick. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's still like 85 degrees outside.
I'll be cranking the heater up more.
Yeah.
It's cold outside.
Mm,
Hey, but them 30, them 40s and all that, it's time to get the long johns ready.
okay.
Bundle up.
The Mason family.
Okay.
So we can take them
So, what we're going to get into is kind of, we've all talked about this in a way, especially the ones of us dealing with the hive beetles. We kind of know where we're going to go on this a little bit, but the use of peppermint got me to thinking, well, did they use it for anything back in the old timey days? We've been going through this American Bee Journal and to see what, if anything, pops up out of the Bee Journal. And lo and behold, there was an article that did pop up. It's the, let me make sure to get y'all the right year. The April 9th, 1896, the 36th volume, number 15 of the American Bee Journal. It does have an article in here talking about peppermint. But like some of you down here, well, many of you, ones of you dealing with these doggone hive beetles, y'all, we got to say for real, wish to listen a little bit sooner on doing this, especially on Mr. Mike Conley. I ain't seen him in here yet, but we sat down and we talked for, I don't know, several hours. A lot of times me and that man get on the phone with, it'd be an hour and a half, 2 hours, but I enjoy every bit of good conversation. And he was telling me how he'd been talking to Earl about using the peppermint extract to keep the hive beetles out. And he's telling me, man, Tim, he said, I do not see any hive beetles in my colonies. And he was telling me this,
Wow.
yeah, late spring, early summer, and we're still doing the peppermint candies. And finally broke down, bought the extract. And we've really been pushing it in them colonies, I'm going to say the last 2 months. And we go back to a while ago when we were saying we haven't been in the bees. And the only thing we've done with the bees in the last 3 weeks was literally pop the lid, looked at the inner cover, and set the lid back down. And that's as far as we went. And haven't seen any beetles on the inner covers, or like in the horizontal hives, we got the little slats where we don't have to expose the whole hive. We can just do a few frames, so on and so forth. But usually that's where the bees try to corral them beetles, is between the top of the frame and those little slats. And when we roll them rascals off and we break that propolis,
Beetles get everywhere.
yeah, it's like stepping on a fire ant bed. And when we was out there earlier, she was rolling them slats back, and we wasn't seeing any rolling them back. Now, we did see where they had some hemmed up on one frame. They had them hemmed in that one corner,
Mm-hmm.
and that was probably the most beetles we seen. Well, that
Yeah.
was the most beetles we seen out of all of them. And there was maybe, I, I don't know when to get my numbers up too high, but 10 or so in that bunch.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it wasn't new at all for us. I mean, like he said, normally it's 40 or 50 beetles easily go running when you pop those little slats up. But I mean, I'd be, it was no more than 10 at the most in that corner. And that was by far the most we saw anywhere today.
this which I put me some tape over it so I know not to use it for nothing else. But all that just regular peppermint extract, and we added 0.05 milliliters of eucalyptus oil to a full bottle of the extract, and we just shake it up real good, stick it in a syringe, and she runs it across all the way across from one end to the other on those rails.
They say the same thing. Treat them with peppermint and mulch.
I don't see why you couldn't, DC. I mean, you're in a sense you're doing it to a small degree right there on those frame rails.
Yeah, because I mean, we just, run it across out of that syringe and let it soak into the wood right there. Make sure we get all the corners really good. Peppermint extract and water to stop robbing.
Okay. See,
That's
we're
a good
getting all
thing to
kinds of
keep
good
in
ones.
mind.
But we still do the candies, but this just to give y'all an idea. If y'all been with us a while, y'all know the hive beetles we deal with. We're not talking about just somebody that has a few, one or two hive beetles, and oh my goodness, we got to get them gone. We deal with hundreds of these hive beetles, sometimes at a time. I mean, that's the whole point of us having to make the doggone beetle vac 1000 we got out there. So whenever we was getting in them, we could get them out of the colony quicker. Besides them just being cut loose and run around wherever they want to. But y'all, this seems to be working very, very well for us and keeping them little rascals out. And it's most definitely going to be the way going into the new season of how we're going to push every single colony of getting that mess in there and keeping them doggone beetles out. Now, spring next year will be a little more of a telltale of how well it's really working, because I know we're getting in the latter part of the season, so everybody is cutting back on brood cycles, whether it's bees or bugs. But 3 weeks once again, and just very few beetles. Yeah, you got my attention now.
Mike, I'm kind of confused. He just said, why would you want to do that? But what are you asking? Why would you want to do?
Well, so just in response to DC's question, maybe?
That's what I'm wondering, man.
Okay, yeah. Thought about doing that, DC, but then just running it right across that back and letting that mess soak down in that. I guess that's what it is. It's getting down in there and soaking down in that wood good. And each time we come back over it, it's just adding that extra layer on top of it and keeping them rascals run out. Because we will say, and this is on one of our videos, to where she's running that extract across the back of one of them frames, and there were some hive beetles we didn't see. And but as soon as that juice hit them, they went to running. They don't want no part of that mess. And it's just, I don't know, it's just working.
Yeah. I saw where Earl was doing that. Yeah. That's what we're doing, DC.
Yeah. Russell, we added peppermint to the patties last year.
Well, we
The
put
candy.
crushed, like we put a whole bunch of the hard candies in a food processor and just crushed them up and put it in. And we didn't have any trouble with beetles in the pollen stuff at all.
Now, granted, we wouldn't put no big old slabs in there or anything like that. We was cutting out like, I don't know, a little 2x2 piece, if you will. And we'd go check on them. I don't know, about every third day, you want to start checking on them rascals to see.
Mm-hmm.
And there wouldn't be any hive beetles, any larvae, or nothing like that under those little blocks that was left. And so, we just,
I told you I was going to do that too, and I forgot. Mike said I would think you'd want to put that oil at the entrance. And I told him last time we were in them, I was like, I'm going to do this. And I was going to run a bead like right up against the little entrance reducer cover you slide in there, like make a bead of coal, but with the peppermint oil.
would be a good first line of defense. Sure.
Ooh,
Mm-mm.
I don't envy you that, Mr. Mark. We always wait till the last minute when it's freezing cold and pouring down rain, too.
Oh, Lord, yeah. That's when we out there doing it all, getting their plants and everybody putting it.
See, we don't have any of the screen bottom boards, Philip. Like, all of ours are solid.
Yeah, we
I mean, you have a good point for sure, but all of ours are solid. But I was especially thinking do it, on the horizontal hives we have.
No, ma'am.
No, we haven't noticed any. It doesn't affect the bees at all. Because, I mean, the bees will be all over the tops of the frames when I run that juice down the back.
Yeah, they don't seem to scurry off or.
Like, it doesn't phase them at all. No, I mean, we don't, like, pour half a bottle in there by any means. I mean, it's a little, like what they give you at the vet's office for dog or cat medicine or something. It's a small syringe, and like I'll fill it up one time for each colony and use that one syringe to go all the way around the frames at the top. And it hadn't had any kind of effect on the bees that we can see.
Probably so, DC. You can find something that'll hold that smell in to where it's not going to, evaporate real quick, but it'd be just, I guess, just the same as long as you got something good and absorbent to hold that smell.
Yeah, Sharon, like Russell says, like when we put the hard candies in, the peppermint candies, when you pull out the frames, you can see in the cells where they've broken that down and stored it in there. Like the bees, the peppermint doesn't bother them at all.
Yeah, we're going to continue to feed the candy too, because I do like the fact of them storing it around the brood area and gut health and all that other good stuff for them too. But our main deal was we got to find something to keep them jokers out of the boxes and to quit. I mean,
Yes, Mr. Dan, like all along the whole, because ours, like when we pop our inner cover off, that's where the beetles are. The bees always have them hemmed up at the top where they're like under the edges of the frames. That's why we run it down all in there where we do on the frame rest. Did you see Mr. Mark?
Mhm.
He used Christmas candy canes, hang them on the frame.
There you go. Yeah.
That'll work. Peppermint oil wax dipping.
I can't remember if Earl done a video on.
Earl's done so
dipping.
many on the different peppermint stuff.
And I know he talks about he spilled what 3/4 of a bottle in one by accident of the peppermint extract, and
Oh yeah.
it didn't. According to what he was saying, it didn't even bother him then. Him spilling that much in there because he can get down. He's got it figured out to the part per million on this and that and everything on the peppermint end. But y'all, if you're dealing with them like we dealing with them, don't. I could just highly suggest this being a good preventative maintenance.
Yeah.
But apparently, back in the old timey days, peppermint. What an article reads here: peppermint as a honey plant. Okay. Peppermint as a honey plant. Peppermint is a stranger to the readers in general as a honey plant, but known as an oil product, although quite frequently found growing by roadsides, in pools of water, and waste places. Its greatest value is supposed to be that of relation to our medical fraternity. It is not produced as universally as wheat or corn, and for this reason, it is not familiar known to a large number of our inhabitants. Only a small area is given up to its culture, nor is this the only reason why the industry is not becoming larger. Only certain acclimated locations will produce oil, and to produce a variable crop of oil, it must bloom. Bees cannot gather nectar from hay or corn, but must visit numerous multitudes of various fragrant blossoms. Likewise, if the peppermint does not bloom in a locality in profusion, its value does not become apparent to the oil producer or the beekeeper. Bear with me.
Mr. Larry said, what do you think they were trying to do?
In the old days with peppermint, well, they wasn't doing too much treating with. In this article, I'll say it's that the peppermint is generally harvested before it attains the required acquired age to give a very large flow. Check this out. And seems to secrete nectar in larger quantities than the older it gets. You go to your nearest wild mint plant, gather the roots, take them home, plant them on your lowest ground in rows 33 inches apart, and place 2 or 3 along roots side by side, or so as to make them as continuous as possible. These plants will give you the required flower, but not oil. You can plant on higher or low ground, but with better success on lowland or muck marsh. The plant is a perennial, smooth stem, decumbent, four-angled, leaves opposite, acute at end, serrate, thin flowers in dense auxiliary clusters, small pink or light purple, elaborate, very slender petals.
Slender.
The oil is volatile and belongs to the, I'm not even going to attempt all this. It's a
The
menthol.
menthol.
Okay. We know that, yeah, it's a menthol. Let me get past all that because it gets into all the words I can't even hardly explain. It talks about using it for rheumatism. Let me get past that. Let's talk about making a concoction from peppermint oil and using it for rheumatism in that part. But it says,
I'm sorry. Mr. Dan said it spreads like crazy. Keep it out of your garden.
let's see.
I didn't mean to mess you up. I'm sorry.
Okay. Bees work on peppermint from morning till night, and if the condition of the weather permits, or on very heavy dews, a bountiful flow is secured. On mornings after a heavy dew, a happy hum of rejoicing in the industrious bees is planting herd, which are always heavily laden. These approach when falling on the peppermint plant is much like that of basswood. You will find some scattered around about the hives in the states of fatigue. The honey has a consistency a little thicker than that of water, being real light in color for a fall flow of nectar. And it just says the latter part of it, the gentleman's going to planting some more to have him a bountiful little winter flow or fall flow coming off that peppermint plant and blossom. So undoubtedly, they was using old peppermint plant as a good nectar source back then, which they didn't know anything about the hive beetle. That's for sure. Back in 18,
That's
whenever it was.
Whoever it was asking Mr. Larry, asking what were they trying to treat because they didn't have hive beetles back then.
The only thing it talks about any kind of, I guess, a treatment, and it's not anything within the colony that it states in this article, but just the rheumatoid arthritis. It says when mixed with 1 ounce pure oil and 1/2 ounce of either chloroform or laudanum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Agitate briskly, apply externally, but under no circumstance apply near the heart.
Yeah, I bet that laudanum has more to do with that rheumatism pain easing up than the peppermint oil does.
So,
But Philip said he has mint basil, and the bees love the little white flowers on it. These days, everybody's talking about the little scope cameras, Castle High's size, the little bitty camera you can put on the end of the table and go through the hive. It would be fun to get one of those.
Let's see. I'm trying to find it. What was that I said earlier? Something pretty interesting. Add along with that. How much time? We only an hour in. Y'all got a subject y'all want to see if we can Google up here?
Gotta start Googling stuff.
Well, I mean, on the Bee Journal.
Because
there was another article I was trying to find. It was about pollen. And this one fellow, he done his own study with some of his different colonies. And this was in the Bee Journal. I was reading, I think, whenever we got off from the last live. But the importance of when to add or not add pollen into the hive, or should you just not do it, period. But apparently they was doing the same thing back then if they had colonies that were getting pollen bound, they would take that comb, store it, put it up. Then come winter and all that, they would feed that natural pollen back to the bees. But according to
You're really wrong. And then chat.
what you say, Earl? We're just yakking about peppermint.
That's the man that can answer your peppermint questions for real.
Earl, I don't know if you've been paying attention or not, but the last few weeks we've been going through, I don't know, just diving in different articles in the old timey American bee journals. But got to thinking, is there anything peppermint wise in the bee journal then? And this one was, when I say this was 1870 something. I scroll all the way back here.
1869 or 96.
We almost there now. But the article was reading about peppermint being a good nectar source. April 9th, 1896 was this one. And it's the one that's got the article about the peppermint as a honey plant by Carson Van Blair from, let me say that dude's name wrong, probably too. But the peppermint extract, and we throw that eucalyptus oil to it. And buddy, that mess has really helped us out on hive beetles tremendously. And I was saying I wish we'd kind of went into that a little bit earlier in the season, like far as a full-on attack.
Live and learn.
That's it.
Ian just came in. He said we've fallen into instant winter up here.
Ian Stepper.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know he watched it.
Well, hey, appreciate you coming in, brother. We're just yakking about you too up there being ankle deep in snow and you working your tail off all that farm equipment up there.
Yes.
Y'all some busy people. But I guess while he's in here, there was some parts too about how folks were storing their bees back in the old days. You know, not everybody had a big barn or anything like that they could put their bees in the wintertime, especially say the folks that mid states on, especially up into the Canada up there, where it snows. But most everybody had some kind of cellar of some sort. But apparently back in old days, what they would do is the cellars up underneath their house, if they was in an area that was prone to a bunch of snow and things like that, they would take their bees and they would put them up underneath the houses in the cellars and keep the bees up underneath there. Then,
I mean,
I had no idea. Like I say, that was in one of the old American Bee Journal parts.
mm-hmm.
And apparently there's a Canadian Bee Journal too that they did back in those days.
Canadians can have bee journals.
I didn't say they couldn't have them.
You said it that way.
Yeah,
I can't believe Canada's got
no, I mean, y'all know what I'm saying. But what else? Putting them things in the cellar. Then there was another dude. He wrote an article, and that old boy wishes he'd have never done this, but he buried his bees in the ground, and apparently dug a big old hole, stuck all his bees in the ground, put hay and straw and all this mess on top of them, and kind of covered them up with what he could. And he went back come spring to get everybody ready to set out on that, what they call their summer stands, and every one of them just about dead. So, not a good idea to bury your bees, people. And it's gonna take off and leave me here. But if I run it back through here and find something that's pretty interesting. And I did run up on this one. We kind of mentioned this. This is a short article, so I'll read this one. And we did touch on this a while back about brood comb. And is it a good idea just to let them rebuild every year and do it that way, or continuously use over and over and over different frames that you have for comb and brood? But in this article, it reads, the age of brood combs. I have brood combs in my hives, which have been in constant use in the brood chamber. Check this out. For 20 years. And while the cells do appear small in looking, and yet, so far as I can see, it makes no difference in the size of the bees hatching from these cells. The neighbor tells of combs being in use for 40 years, and yet no difference in the looks of the bees coming out of these combs. All bees, when first emerge from the cell, look small. We'll wait till they are 36 or 48 hours old, and it will be seen that they look altogether different, especially during a honey flow. Some seem to think that the bees do not grow after they cut out its cells, but I think a little observation will satisfy one that the young bee plumps out considerably after it emerges from the cell. Several times during past years, I have compelled the bees to rear workers. Check this out, rear workers in drone cells. And so far as I could discover, using the closest scrutiny, I'm assuming, and the bees, they wasn't any larger within the days after hatching. And of those of the same age hatched from combs 10 to 20 years old. It is true that each emerging bee leaves a slight cocoon or lining in the cell, but as the cocoon is much thicker at the base of the cell than at the sides, and so thin at any spot that it is hardly predictable. No bad results seem to arise therefrom. It is always safe to use combs as long as they are in good condition, and old combs have the advantage of being better for the bees during winter. And that's from some old dude named GM Doolittle.
Yeah.
Yep. And but I will say this too. Now, I'm gonna probably check out a little more on these, but in these 1800s articles, you're seeing the name Daydant a whole bunch, and am I saying it wrong? Demery? Okay. Them two names come up a whole bunch in several of these bee journals. But seeing the Demery got me to thinking about y'all talking about doing the Demery method. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with this cat here and the Demery method or what, but Lord willing, maybe next week we'll get in and touch on that subject a little bit to see if Mr. Demery is the Demery of doing the
Yeah, Lisa, they all get to
what?
where they want to pile in the same chair.
Oh,
Yeah, Jasper has his own chair. He just prefers to fight me for mine most of the time.
She don't make his tail get down.
Yeah.
That's my chair over there. Then whenever we get up to switch, he won't be in my chair. As soon as she gets over here, he's gonna pile up with her.
He just straight devoed my chairs and stuff. Todd was jumping up here when she put that comment.
Yeah, they telling us that they getting ready for bed is what they telling us.
Mm-hmm.
They get ready for what we do. But
Jasper's getting way too big to be a lap dog, though. That's the problem.
oh yeah, y'all can see her. He'll get on the front of this chair with her, and he's way too big to even get up here anymore. But whenever he jumps down, it's like y'all ever
It's
seen
like
those
a
videos?
seesaw. It's hilarious.
Well, you almost look like one of them people. I know some of y'all seen this, but where folks that set the airbag under a seat, boom.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it reminds
He
me of.
almost flipped the chair the other day. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. He's getting way too big for it.
Are y'all the links open? Y'all come in if y'all want to chit chat a little bit. If not, we're probably
Buttons is
going.
actually running out of things to say.
I am. My mind has it's still cloud nine in a way.
Oh my gosh, DC. He said I had a 165-pound Saint Bernard that wanted to be a lap dog.
No,
I won't complain about Jasper then.
uh,
A couple people have mentioned that using tea tree oil in feed mixtures.
in the feed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I was trying to look at some of like how they fed back in the winters then too, and the only thing that even just repetitively comes up is sugar and some type of syrup, whether it's I'm going to assume like a maple syrup or a cane syrup, something along those lines, is what oftentimes the people fed in the old days to take and build them up, or what they often done is if they had a bountiful flow, they would extract a certain amount and they would store a certain amount until the next season. That way, if they did get low on feed, all they had to do was run in there and grab however many frames or combs to put onto the hive and turn around and feed their colonies. And I was thinking, well, maybe there's some kind of old something or another that they doing that we've kind of lost track of or forgot about. But for the most part, it's pretty well the same process. Throw the sugar to them, some sort, whether it's your cane sugars or syrup.
Or their own dog. DC said I like big dogs. And then he said I like dogs I don't have to bend over to pet. He's got some massive dogs though.
Well, you see them dogs on his videos.
He said his largest dog was 180-pound English Mastiff.
Good man.
I don't know if I want a dog that outweighs me by that much. Especially not a lap dog.
No, that dog, I ain't big time. No dog get my life that dog real big. I love my dogs, don't get me wrong, but I don't want you in my lap.
Yeah. Hannah doesn't have the same mentality.
She does not. She's the total opposite. She wants to, y'all see what right now, love on him. He knows what he knows. But
Carl went and got his dog too. Everybody's gonna bring the dog.
okay, let's take a vote. Who all got the dogs in their lap right now?
Um,
Oh,
yeah.
What else? On our winter preparedness,
We're ready.
yeah,
Um,
I guess the biggest thing we got to do is reduce the entrances. Let let you folks in North Country, like I say, much respect to y'all. Ones of you got to deal with all that snow and mess.
Blaine get his dogs.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Hey, we'll just talk about dogs.
yeah. Anybody got a good bee dog?
Yeah. Hey, Jasper did get his first little bee sting the other day. He was not impressed.
He was not happy. No.
Not at all.
Ian, we're
Way south, Alabama.
about 30 miles north of Mobile, Alabama. Uh, yeah, Mobile is our closest city, or the biggest major city down here. And
I don't know if they've heard of us all the way up to Kansas.
well, some people say it is Mobile, or depending on where you're from, mobile.
No, it's mobile. Only robots and answer machines call it mobile.
But yeah, brother, that's where we at. We
Yeah, I mean,
way down
we're
south. You know.
way down south. He just said you're way down there. Yeah, I mean, literally an hour and a half drive, and we're in the Gulf of Mexico. Like, we're way down south. He's his dog, blames his dog support him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, look, I have a hibiscus blooming on the front porch right now. Earl said they still got fruit on the trees. I don't know. You can Google that. Where in Canada is Ian?
Uh,
Way up north.
I'm gonna say the wrong place probably. What part of Canada? Yeah, somebody here most definitely.
I don't know.
He said you don't want to know what cold or snow is.
No. I never
No,
make it.
sir.
That's why we live down here. I'd never make it up there.
Now I was watching the last video you had put out with you out there getting the last little bit of your boxes up and trying to get them in the shed now.
Roughly 2,000 miles.
And you out there scraping that snow off the top of them things and looking out through the way, and it's already an ankle deep in snow. And
that's pretty rough.
yeah, I'm more power to
Roughly
y'all.
2,000 miles south of you. Oh,
Great.
40s for high tomorrow for Blaine.
Yeah, then it'll be here for us. I think Tuesday, and then we're gonna be getting y'all's cold weather, that blast coming in, but no snow for us. If we go snowing down here, but there's something wrong. The only times I can remember, like we was talking earlier, of actually getting a snow that just, oh, I remember this, was 1988. I remember that one. In 1992 down here. That was the best, I guess, snow remembrances
I remember that one.
of time. 92. Mm-hmm.
I got a clear memory of that one. 2,519 miles
That's a good
from
little
us
thing.
to Grand Forks, Canada.
We could drive that in a day.
A 39-hour day. It told me that too.
Hannah lived Hannah's daddy was a pharmacist. He retired a few years ago, and he went out after some years and done his own thing, opening his own pharmacy and things like that. But he had a friend he went to pharma- pharmacy school with in Wyoming.
Well, yeah, Dad and him had gotten to be pretty good friends, and the man ended up moving to Wyoming in Evanston, right outside Evanston, Wyoming, and he opened his own pharmacist. Well, my dad had always wanted to go out there, and he got a chance to partner with the man and try to make a go of it. So we got to live out there for 2 years when I was a kid. And I mean, I was little, but I can remember the first year we were there, my mama cried her eyes out wanting to come home to Alabama because we watched the 4th of July fireworks in 6 feet of snow, like wearing every piece of clothing we owned because it was our first year out there.
So much respect to you people dealing with that stuff. There ain't no way this in here would ever make it in that world. Now, I'll be the first to tell you on that end. Especially, I don't see how
Yep, there's Cajun.
most of y'all do your beekeeping up there. I mean, unless you're fortunate to have an outbuilding to stick everybody in. I mean, y'all talking about
No, they're talking about the bees getting so close. 4 months without or 4 months out of the year they can go out and they're locked up the rest of it.
no, ours can go pretty much all year round. They might be
I mean, there might
2
be
or
a
3
couple
days,
snaps.
but yeah, for the most part, they can fly pretty well all year round.
The cold kills the snakes. I wouldn't mind some of that down here.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, because you got to watch where you step. That's for sure. Watch where you step. Watch where you put your hands.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't put this in a video. I think it was just me and her cutting up one day out there, shooting an intro for one of the videos. But for any of you that don't have a bunch of woodland or something, and you want to get you some smoker fuel, you can buy these. I guess they're like 20 or 30 pound bags of pine shavings, but we use them to throw out in the chicken pen. Put fresh bedding down in the chicken pen, but oftentimes I'll go in there and I'll rob a handful of them pine shavings, start the smoker. But down here, you had better investigate looking in a bag or sticking your hand down in something beforehand. If not, you're liable to get your tail popped by whatever crawled up in there.
Craig Dunn and Joe. Joseph Rose, Mr. Mike came.
Mr. Mike, we're talking about you a minute ago, bro.
Cajun came.
Okay, John.
You made the news, Cajun.
Sure did, buddy. Yep. Glad you didn't have no robbing. It was good to see there was orientation and no robbing issues. What was it? There was a thing in there too on robbing. Fella said he put down at the entrance. Camphor. That's what it was in one of the articles. Mm-hmm.
I believe
He said he couldn't. This was 1870s. I was reading earlier trying to find something to yak about, but the fella said he had a whole bunch of robbing going on and he didn't have anything around that he could think to stop them. So he had some camphor oil and he took the camphor oil and put it at the entrance of the hive and it completely stopped the robbing, according to that.
well, and you can't for oil and take them in the water. That's what Mr. Larry said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good to hear, Brad. He said the bees are looking good right now.
Yeah, there used to be able to get on some old camphor trees around here, but they're hard to find.
This thing that.
It's slow, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
We lagging on the comments, y'all. On our end.
Well, it's trying to him take care, I guess.
And Mr. Larry said the peppermint has stopped the robin too.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that overwhelming smell of that peppermint.
But I
Just
mean,
another.
that's what's crazy. Like it'll work to stop robin, but when we put it in to fight beetles, it doesn't seem to phase them at all.
No, it don't bother me. Not that we've seen by any stretch
That's what's strange.
that they get stressed or
They have a love-hate relationship with peppermint oil. They also use cod liver oil as a spring tonic for gut worms.
Ooh. That sounds like one of them castor kind of situations. You want to stay away from that. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did, Texas. We had a small bout with Robin earlier in the year, and I was kind of in the same situation that old fella I was talking about, trying to figure out what can I spray around it real quick to stop it. And yeah, I took old Bob's honey rustler stuff and sprayed on just around the outside of the boxes where they was trying to get in, and it stopped it within just a minute or two as well. And didn't have any more issues out of it either. They left it alone.
Mr. Larry said, I think it masked the smell of robin and the honey smell.
Yeah, that's what it's got to be doing. Cover that up, calm their tails down. If not, y'all know how them rascals can get. They ain't got no mercy on the colony. They get in there and get on one.
Bottle the same stuff as robin rustler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bob's got to be careful how he labels things. So
Mm. So, Bob, are you coming down like earlier in the week? Alligator oil. Oh, I will say, yeah, I spent a lot of time with my grandma, and she's 95. Like, she's from that generation, and she never tried to shove that kind of crap down my throat. She probably knew I'd take off running from her. No, I'm gonna count that as a blessing.
yeah, there are some things I'm glad we can just go down to the local pharmacy down there. And
I mean, my grandma, though, is more the type of, put your big girl panties on and deal with it. Like, you'll be okay.
but a lot of them are way, man. I'm still different things I like to use.
A lot of times I'd rather just tough it up than try to take some medicine for something. Mm. What was it? They used to shove down our throats going in the woods. Sulfur? Keep ticks and chiggers off of you?
Yeah, I reckon.
Daddy used to make us take that.
I mean, I got a big old block of it out there.
I can't remember what it was. I'm pretty sure it was sulfur.
It may be. A lot of them old ways. I mean, people, it worked, tried and true. But
So what was that? I cannot remember what the name of it was. It was a nasty crap though. I used to cry. I tell you, I'd rather have a tick. I don't care.
what, garlic?
No, it wasn't garlic. I have to ask him what it was. It was keep ticks and chiggers off of you. I know that. but I can't remember what it was.
We'll know next week.
No, it wasn't quinine. I asked my dad. He'll remember. Mm. What else you got, Buttons?
I'm about running out of stuff, y'all. Be
It'll
honest,
be an early chat
I
tonight.
reckon so. Wish I was a little more spunky.
He'll be back full blast next week.
We're gonna,
I
yeah.
don't know. We might not be here next week.
Well, yeah, we have to. It'd be debatable on that if we can get home early enough Sunday evening
Mm-hmm.
where we're not in a big rush. But I'm not sure which day we're gonna try to go over and holler at old Bob one of them days that he's down here. Whoever else. Lee, you gonna try to make it over there? Or? I know Mr. Larry said he might try to make it down there to the Mississippi Conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was a couple others that they may try last week.
Greg Dunn just told Bob he was going to be down there with me.
Well, yeah, old Bob having a crew to hang out with. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to go to the actual conference. We may just ride over and, hey, how you doing? Eat a little bit of supper and
Mm-hmm.
come on back to the Hacienda.
It would be cool to go meet a few people though.
Yeah, we'll try our best. See who
We didn't get to go to the big show. I don't even know what it's called now. I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. But whatever the big one is that everybody's going to. But it ain't looking like we're gonna make it this year either.
No. Lord will one of these days. We'll get up there to it. Or to one of them.
Yeah.
Where's it? What, Kentucky? What they call it?
Well,
KFC deal.
Who knows where it'll be next year though. There's no guarantee it'll be in the same spot. It could end up being closer to us. Let's see. You falling asleep over there?
No.
Normally I'm the one crashing and you're raring to go.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know. I'm about staying on subject for the evening.
Mm-hmm.
Unless y'all got something y'all want to yak about real quick in that chat. We can pick up on. But Mr. Larry, I am going to be in touch with you, Lord willing, sometime this week for sure. And I'd like to sit down and chit chat with you.
He said he's going Saturday. It looks like he's going Saturday.
Okay.
It's not too long of a drive for us though. We can run over there real quick.
No, we can be over there in about an hour and a half, 2 hours the way I drive. It ain't too bad of a ride. We can just, well, the easiest thing for us to do is Mississippi straight down 63.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you drive.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get us over there.
Yeah.
Hey, don't follow no GPS. That thing will get you all kind of lost.
Mm-hmm.
Tried that one time and I said, nope, I'll go back to my map books. Mm-hmm.
I didn't argue.
No.
Not at all. I didn't argue.
The one time I trusted the GPS, it took us through Alabama 3 times and Florida twice. Then we ended up at some cow pasture and a gate. Then completely had to turn around and reroute. And come to find out, if we'd have went just the way we knew we should have went, all we'd have had to do is literally just take a left, and we'd have been at our destination. But that's whenever I told her, so no more GPS. I'll figure me out my own little route. I mean, y'all know, me and technology, we don't get along too well enough to work together, but nothing to brag about, that's for sure.
You're in his spot.
Yeah. Well, y'all, what you reckon?
Your college stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to carry the conversation.
She said, don't leave it up to me on that one. What?
Just
Well, I guess we'll cut it.
everybody.
Everybody's coming up here now.
Technically challenged. I like that. That's a good term.
But
Good night, Sharon.
yes, ma'am. I guess while she going, I guess we're gonna skin it too, y'all. I hate to be,
It's Monday in the morning.
not a 2 full hour run or go into a couple hours. Lord willing, like I say, I'll be back on my feet and I won't shut up next weekend.
Oh yeah, he'll be wide open.
She'll be doing it, hitting me on my arm or bumping my foot, talking about, hey.
Shut up. Let's get
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Thank
appreciate everybody that did drop in this evening.
Yeah.
And
Hope y'all have a good week this week.
that's it. Well, God bless you. Lord willing, y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one.
Y'all take care.
Bye bye. Jasper.